Disclaimer, I do not dislike CinemaSins, and that is not a lie. For my next Everything Wrong with CinemaSins video, I'm going to be sending their video on Onward, and I'm dedicating this video to my friend Trayvon. Enjoy the video, everybody.
45 seconds of Luxogos.
Jeremy complains about the logos cliche.
Long ago, the world was full of wonder.
Narration.
Jeremy Sins narration cliche.
Okay, houses made of mushrooms is a 100% ripoff of the Smurfs. Gargamel shows up, I'm going to add 1,000,000 sins. Hell, if a cat shows up at some point, I'm adding 500,000 sins just out of pure spite.
Okay, you say you're going to do that, and then you never do that because there are no cats in this movie and nobody that resembles Gargamel from the Smurfs, so you're just giving your thoughts and treating them as something wrong with this movie.
And even when magic does have a parallel, it might not make sense. Who is trading free personal power of flight for the absolute nightmare that is flying commercial?
I'd guess that it's because this sprite needs to go somewhere far and it'd be too hard for it to get there on its own.
Holy f***ing would you look at the size of this room? Who cares what's in it? That room is ginormous. I grew up sharing a bedroom with my brother the size of a large closet. This fool has 600 square feet all to himself.
I don't think that's a problem because I've stayed in big rooms before, and do I think there's something wrong with the buildings? No, I don't.
Your birthday's a day to try new things. Be that new you.
I thought that was New Year's. Birthdays are for self-loathing and calorie bombing.
Well, I do agree with the first part of your sin, even though technically you can try new things any day. What I'm going to sin you for here is the fact that birthdays are to celebrate the luck of being born and to feel loved and appreciated by others.
Wrestling with your mom.
Pointing things out on the screen.
Burgershire, now serving second breakfast. Get it? This is an LOTR reference, dweebs.
Yes, it is a Lord of the Rings reference, but you're just pointing something out on the screen again.
Lightfoot? Wilden Lightfoot? Yeah.
Holy f***ing coincidence, Batman. Not only does this guy happen to be in the Burgershire restaurant right at this second, but he also sees the sweatshirt and then also happens to have known dude's daddy in college? That is some bullshit.
But why? I find that to be cool.
Your dad was a great guy. So confident. When he came into a room, people noticed.
But also, when Al Capone walked into a room, people noticed too. So recognition alone doesn't mean regarding moral character.
Who cares? Al Capone has nothing to do with this movie.
Well, learn to drive, be like dad, and invite people to a party are all pretty harmless looking. Unless your dad is Rusty Nail.
And that's because they are all harmless because Ian is trying to be more bold like Daxton said Wilden was. And also, Rusty Nail is from another completely unrelated movie.
And was wondering if you wanted to come over and get down on some cake.
Look, however much heart this movie has at the end, and I've been told it has some, this opening 10 minutes of exposition and setup is a snooze fest I'd expect from Illumination, not Pixar.
Just because you feel that way about the beginning of this movie does not mean that others do, and therefore this is not a sin.
Back to life? That's not possible.
Well, it used to be, but people got bored with trivial things like bringing people back to life because they're apparently just that lazy.
Well, it is still possible since the spell still works here.
Rebirth. Tomorrow's sun is set. One day to walk the earth.
Spelling mistakes.
But Barley is saying the spell correctly, so what exactly are the mistakes here?
Tonight, the role of Barley will be played by Quentin Tarantino.
Jimmy says something random cliche.
A person can only do magic if they have the gift.
I'm pretty sure this very movie told me that magic died out because it was too hard and science was easier. So having the gift is some bullshit.
No, it isn't, because Ian having the gift is helpful on the journey because he has to perform a lot of magic spells.
Discount Magic the Gathering is about to save the day.
Yeah, but Barley's experience playing Quest of Yore is helpful to him and Ian on their journey, so how is this a sin?
This book is for a game.
I told you, everything in Quest of Yore is historically accurate.
So you think that's funny and is therefore something wrong with this movie? Okay then.
You said it right. It's just for any spell to work, you have to speak from your heart's fire.
Oh, for crying out f***ing loud. Also, Mount Doom, another LOTR joke. I thought Pixar movies were all about making Pixar in jokes.
Okay, here's two sins. One for, yet again, pointing things out on the screen. And the other one is for the hypocrisy of sinning a movie for using a pop culture reference when you yourself sin movies for pop culture references.
She won't let them take the map because she thinks that constitutes her sending them off on a quest. And she's worried about getting sued and losing her tavern. That's the reason they can't have a piece of paper off the wall that anyone could just take a picture of and follow the, hey, why don't they just take a picture of the map?
I mean, we don't know about Barley's phone, but we previously saw Ian's phone cracked after the objects in the air fell down after the spell ended.
Was this costume made of marshmallows? Why does it melt like this?
I would think by the way the nose is melting that it's made of plastic and not marshmallows.
Well, to be fair, that could also be used to spell nap investor, spa inventor, or Venus porn. So, you might need to check out Philip Grimm, Ancient Rome, or the video you filmed that one time of yourself masturbating in the mirror.
Firstly, those letters could spell out what you mentioned, but that doesn't have anything to do with this movie, so you're yet again just giving your thoughts and treating them as sins of this movie. And secondly, Jeremy makes an inappropriate comment cliche.
Expressway is a little too obvious. On a quest, the clear path is never the right one.
The f does that mean?
It means to have the courage to travel somewhere differently than on the path that you think is right. In other words, it's an opportunity to take chances, make mistakes, and get messy.
We take an ancient trail called the Path of Peril.
Considering you just found out about Raven's Point and all your previous adventures have been on a tabletop game, how did you have this information right at your big blue fingertips?
I know it's hard to see, but the map says Path of Peril, which I believe is the answer to your question.
Your boys are in grave danger, but I can help.
How do you even know that? As far as you know, the map burned up in the fire and they don't even know where they're going. Jeez, the characters of this movie are near omniscient.
The Manticore says that Ian and Barley are in danger because of a curse that'll happen when they take the Phoenix Gem. You'd know that if you were actually paying attention.
In college, I took a girl on a date one night. We drove up to Chicago, an hour away, had a fancy dinner, saw...
Oh my god, next.
What's worse is that this car didn't break down. It ran out of gas because the gas dial's broken, which Barley knows and yet forgot to plan for. Barley is the worst.
Really? The character who is compassionate, has acted like a father figure to Ian, and has nothing but pride for him is the worst? That's worth 150 sins.
Is there a magic way to get gas?
Yes, it involves a magical fruit. There's even a whole song about it.
Okay, first of all, that song is completely unrelated to this movie, and second, it's about another kind of gas.
Hey, I don't need you to carry me. I'm a grown man.
Is this comedy?
Yes, and I say that because the second time I watched this movie, my mom laughed at that part.
Got in a little tax trouble a few years back, but don't worry, I know just where to find it.
The Manticore is about to pull an OJ, and the sin is this movie making me use the phrase pull an OJ.
But the sword and the place where it's at are not made up, so this is not a sin.
This is my least favorite chase scene of all time.
Okay, for this sin, I'm going to show one of the sins from the Birdman's Megamind video. You make great videos, by the way, Birdman, because I think it's a perfect way to respond to this part.
Oh, it is on, Shades. Got him.
They hear this.
I mean, I know motorcycles are loud, but they were not far from each other.
So he blasts the air and the sprites all go flying, but Tiny Barley doesn't. Then Tiny Barley lets go and flies out the window, but Ian catches him. And I'm beginning to think this movie has no stakes whatsoever.
Well, I'd say that flying out the window of a car on the freeway is a stake because they could literally get hit by a car.
As long as you don't tell a lie, the spell will be fine.
God damn it, this movie just keeps making up new rules and new loopholes every other scene. And because said loophole rules create physical comedy, I'm expected to laugh. This might be the laziest Pixar script since Cars 3. And yes, Cars 2 was a worse movie, but it's a more original story. Cars 3 is just cars all over again.
Personally, I think that the script was well written, and also I would recommend to you that if you think something is lazy, you should explain why it's lazy and not just say that it's lazy.
Bottomless pit. Whatever falls in there, falls forever.
But how do you know this? Sure, you played your Quests of Boar game or whatever, but you had no idea this was even here.
Here's a possibility. There was a bottomless pit in the Quests of Your game.
Just say Bridrigar Invisia.
God damn it, this guy knows fucking everything. This movie is literally go a few minutes, get info from Barley. Go a few more minutes, get info from Barley. Go a few more minutes, etc.
Your text here says barely, not barley.
Now we're stealing the invisible bridge you need to step out in faith on from the Last Crusade.
But the invisible bridge in the Last Crusade became visible, which does not happen in Onward.
Arcane lightning.
You said that's the hardest spell.
I forgot that part, but I'm sure it happened. And the point is that this movie has given me so many spell rules, I no longer know who to trust.
And it did happen. When the levitation spell wasn't working for Ian, he suggested trying the lightning spell, which made Barley tell him that that was the hardest spell that was in his book.
I'd give all the sins back if it went like the movie Sideways and the van immediately wrecked and did no good.
You know, I've never really understood why you want to say that you'll take back all sins for something bad, because you usually remove sins for something good.
This works. I mean, this works. This is a Dude Perfect video snuck into a movie. Only in real life, Dude Perfect can do multiple takes. And in an animated movie, they can just draw the victory from the get-go.
And based on the text that I'm showing here, that is exactly why it works out for Ian and Barley.
This 2 minutes and 13 seconds will translate to 15 minutes and 7 seconds of movie time. Because magic?
Okay, how did you misunderstand this? This is supposed to be 2 hours, not 2 minutes. The small numbers are supposed to represent seconds.
Why does the curse on those who seek the Phoenix Gem immediately start killing the nearby school children, and not those who started the curse?
There was no one who got killed while the cursed dragon was forming.
By the time the red evil is transforming itself into a dragon via concrete slabs, I'm tuned way the f*** out on this bitch. Guessing that by the end the heroes win, order is restored, and my college girlfriend loves me again, right?
Which is exactly what happens in the end.
Manticore ex machina.
I wouldn't call this a Deus Ex Machina because Laurel and the Manticore have been looking for Ian and Barley for a lot of the movie.
What did he say?
He just kept repeating, don't let me die again, don't let me die again. Why did you waste all but 60 seconds of my time? I'm so scared, don't let me die again. Something like that.
We don't know what Barley and Wilden were saying, so where are you getting this from?
He also said he's very proud of the person you grew up to be.
Based on what? He literally had no conversation or awareness of Ian as a person that entire time.
Firstly, Wilden did have awareness of Ian as a person. Secondly, see the previous sin as a response to this sin in its entirety. And here is the end result, everybody. The sin total was 364, and the sentence will be spell gone wrong. Thank you for watching, everybody, and have a nice day.